Contract versus covenants. Hey everyone, welcome back to Journey to God. I'm your host, and today we're diving into something that touches every single one of us right where we live, our relationships. Let's be honest for a second. We live in a world that absolutely loves an exit strategy. Think about it. We have cancel at any time streaming subscriptions. We have phone upgrades every year. If a service stops benefiting us, or if a better offer comes along, we hit delete, cancel, or unsubscribe, and we move on without a second thought. But here's the danger. That consumer mindset has quietly crept into our most sacred human connections. We've started treating marriages, families, and friendships like modern business contracts. We stay as long as our needs are met, but the moment conflict arises or the feeling fades, we look for the exit door. But God has a radically different design for how we connect. He doesn't call us to contracts. He calls us to covenant. Today we're talking about biblical commitment, the holy glue that holds relationships together when the storms of life try to tear them apart. The blueprint, contract versus covenant. To really understand what biblical relationships look like, we have to unpack a fundamental difference. What is the gap between a contract and a covenant? In our modern world, a contract says, I will do my part if you do yours. It's built on mutual suspicion. It's about protecting yourself and monitoring the other person's performance. If the other person fails their end of the bargain, the contract is legally void. It's a 50-50 deal. But a biblical covenant? A covenant says, I am fully invested regardless of what you do. It's based on mutual trust, self-sacrifice, and an unbreakable promise. A covenant isn't a 50-50 deal. It's a 100-100 commitment. God always operates on covenant. Even when we are unfaithful, the scriptures remind us that He remains faithful. And when we bring that same covenant mindset into our human relationships, something incredible happens. They become resilient. They become durable. Let's look at how this plays out in three distinct areas of life, starting with family. Ruth, Naomi, and family loyalty. If you want a picture of raw, fierce commitment in a family context, you have to go to the Old Testament, to a dusty road on the borders of Moab. An aging widow named Naomi has lost everything, her husband and both of her sons. She has no wealth, no social status, and absolutely nothing left to offer. She actually begs her daughters-in-law to leave her, to go back to their hometowns where they can find security, comfort, and a fresh start. One of them takes the exit strategy, but the other, Ruth, clings to her. Listen to the covenant language Ruth uses in Ruth chapter 1, verses 16 and 17. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. Think about that. Ruth had zero contractual reasons to stay. Naomi was, by all worldly metrics, a liability. Yet Ruth makes a covenant. She ties her destiny, her geography, and her faith to a broken, grieving woman. Covenant commitment in families means choosing to love when it is profoundly inconvenient. It means standing by a difficult relative or carrying a sibling through a dark season, not because of what they can give you, but because God has tied your hearts together. The crucible of marriage. Now, if Ruth shows us covenant in family, the Apostle Paul shows us the ultimate standard for marriage in the New Testament. In Ephesians chapter 5, Paul writes words that completely upended the ancient world, and honestly, they still challenge us today. He writes, Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. And right before that, he tells couples to submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Notice what Paul does here. He explicitly pulls marriage out of the realm of fleeting romantic feelings and elevates it to a living illustration of the gospel. How does Jesus love the church? He loved us when we were still turning our backs on him. He didn't walk away when we failed. He paid the ultimate price, his own life, to secure our future. Christian marriage isn't a fairy tale built on permanent butterflies in your stomach. It's a covenant. When the feelings fluctuate, and let's be honest, they will, the commitment of the covenant holds the line. You don't stay married because you're always feeling the romance. You stay in love because you are anchored to the promise. Friends born for adversity. But this isn't just about family or marriage. God designed us for deep spiritual friendships too, and these require the same glue. Proverbs 17:17 gives us a powerful reality check. It says, "A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity." Pay attention to the timing there. A true friend doesn't just show up for the celebrations or the good times. A true friend is literally born for adversity. Anyone can be a friend when the sun is shining, the laughs are free, and life is easy. But a covenant friend is the one who walks into your mess when the rest of the world is walking out. It makes me think of David and Jonathan in the Bible, whose souls were knit together. When King Saul sought to take David's life, Jonathan risked his own royal inheritance and safety to protect his friend. That is covenant friendship. It means we don't drop our friends the moment they become heavy lifting. The source of the glue. As we wrap up today, I want to leave you with one final thought. If you and I try to live out this level of commitment in our own human strength, we are going to fail. By nature, we are self-protective. We get tired and we get selfish. The only way we can love like Ruth, sacrifice like a godly spouse, or stand firm like Jonathan is by anchoring ourselves in the one who made a covenant with us first. Before you were even born, Jesus looked at all your flaws, your future mistakes, and your brokenness, and he said, "I am fully invested. I will never leave you nor forsake you." Because we are held by his unbreakable covenant, we now have the power to hold on to each other. So let's lay down the contracts, let's pick up the covenants, and let's let our relationship show the world a love that doesn't walk away. Thanks for joining me on Journey to God. If this episode challenged or encouraged you, go ahead and share it with a covenant friend today. Until next time, bye for now.